Previously on Handbook for Mortals. And then I was alone with him. Charles told me to sit down. I did so, slowly feeling my heart pound again and my chest tightened. I swallowed hard. He was facing the wall, but he spoke deliberately. Well, my dear, tell me everything. It took about a week for human resources to process my paperwork and get me set up as an employee. Wait, what? Last chapter literally ended with Daddy Creepyhands sitting Zetamina's dumb ass down, alone. Then he turns his back to her and prompts her to tell him everything. What the hell, man? Come on, some legitimate tension was established and we just smash cut to a week later like it's no biggie? No, incorrect. This is indeed a biggie. What happened? Does our Zadi have a condition? Because I can't come up with a reason why we lost a whole week of time. It's not like there was nothing happening. Could have picked up right where we left off. Or even have Zaydisha viewed the show with Cam later that evening up along the grid. Because remember, he invited her to do that. But no. Instead, we get this jarring shit where she's yapping about staying at the hotel for free while she gets an apartment and buys furniture and gets a new cell phone plan, and buys a vehicle, and discovers a good supermarket, and waits sometime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. for the cable guy to come set her internet up, and spends 15 minutes to save 15% or more on car insurance by switching to Geico. Then her actual first day comes, and she's all hyped. She meets her assigned personal costumer, I guess that's a thing, and we finally get our first properly introduced female side character. Wow! Lillian, also Lil. Age? Stereotypical goth, with tattoos, chatty AF, wardrobe girl, named after her great aunt. Since Ella Michaela strips down to have her measurements taken, she notes how white she looks under the fluorescent lights and wishes how parts of her body look different. The two bond fast. Lil officially cements herself as groupie number one. She compliments Zadolf on her hair and her illusion, something Zadol doesn't know how to handle. Note to self. Compliments short-circuit the self-inserts OS, proving herself to be fallible. Soon we will learn how to defeat this menace. After all that, we get our first real scene break in the book. We switch over to Mac's perspective, and it's entirely italicized and in the third person. Why? The italics just don't look right. I get the sense that this is some weird acid trip or dream sequence or something else otherworldly. Also, jumping from first to third perspective just cuz is pretty damn jarring. Why not make the whole novel in the first person? Then we'd all be mercifully spared from Zadalin's internal monologues. I see no downside to this. Instead, I have to spend a solid 23 seconds staring at third person italicized word dumps while just going through my own system failure. In Mac's little section, he, coincidentally, approaches Lil's fitting room for some reason. Don't worry, he doesn't really know why either. The door is cracked open just enough for him to peep through at just the exact moment Zadian's getting measured up in her skivvies. Cue shoujo bubbles!
Under the bright lights, Zayd's skin looked porcelain white. She was beautiful. She wasn't supermodel hot, but there was something about her that just made her stand out. Mac couldn't quite put his finger on it, but there was something there.
You see what Sarum did there? Zaydenzi doesn't like how white she looks under the lighting, or how parts of her body look, but Mac thinks she's beautiful. Tad happens to walk by too and catches Mac's peeping ass. He teases Mac, who just soon deades all over the hallway, saying that he's contemplating how to kill her and dispose the body without getting caught. Keep it up and I'll be disposing 2 bodies. Any other questions? Uh-oh, looks like we got a badass over here. Mac, sweetie, baby boo Boston cream pie, we gotta have a talk about your lame-ass dialogue, buddy. I can't take you seriously when you talk like this. I depend on you to be the voice of reason in this bonkers-ass book. To be the reader's surrogate and telling Zeta Ladle Ding Dong to fuck off. Come on, buddy, get it together. He huffs and stomps off and Tad's all like, whoa, oh, that Mac doesn't know how to get in tune with his feelings. And And that's the end of the scene. We jump back to Zedali's first-person point of view, and she finishes getting her measurements taken and leaves wardrobe. But uh-oh, she bumps into another dude, and oh boy, talk about hard eyes, motherfucker. Jackson Millsap, age? I don't know. Perfectly tousled dark chestnut hair, tall, dark, and handsome, and exactly her type. Bandleader, singer, and guitar player for the house band. Still in his own band, and can play all the things. Most definitely a love interest. Just recently found out that he is Jackson Rathbone's insert. Holy balls, that is awkward. Thank God he's a secondary love interest and not Cam, so I don't have to stress out over the heroine being stuck in a love palindrome. I just could not handle that. Anyway, she's fawning over this dude and I can tell he's eating it up. I get the impression he knows he's totally cool for Cass, because what humble bumble subtly boasts that they sing and play guitar, keyboard, and drums for the show and his own band? Like, okay, sweetie, you can chill. She already dropped her panties ages ago. She mentions that she plays guitar too, because of course, and he's like,
that's hot.
Jackson also mentions he's conveniently got a spare acoustic guitar that just collects dust in his dressing room, and she's free to borrow it whenever she's got a mighty need. Some casual flirting and internal screaming later. He says he's here to give her the grand tour of the place. Cole realizes that she left her phone in wardrobe and goes back to get it. Then she walks off with Jackson arm in arm, confident she made the right choice in moving here, and feeling great about all the new possibilities before her. End of chapter. Oh my God. Where do I fucking start? This was such a hot mess. I said my piece on the awkward first to third person perspective jump and the odd decision to italicize that section. I think Lil's scenes were rather underwhelming, if anything, because Zedalia only told us about Lil's mega chattiness by reciting Lil's entire backstory and her bubblegum chewing smacking quirk. It's just another case of more telling and less showing stuff. Right now, I can tell she only exists to sling compliments Zaychel's way, hence the whole groupie remark, so yeah. That aside, I'm still rather fucking salty about that 1 week later time skip. Bitch! Again, this is how Serum ended the last chapter, in case I haven't played it enough times.
And then I was alone with him. Charles told me to sit down. I did so, slowly feeling my heart pound again and my chest tightened. I swallowed hard. He was facing the wall, but he spoke deliberately. Well, my dear, tell me everything.
Dude, that just oozes serious bad vibes. Why the hell would you deflate your tension like that? What came from that encounter? Was it so traumatizing that Zeta Ladle just dissociated for a whole week? Damn it, man, I am going to be so butthurt if we never come back to that meeting. We're never going to come back to that meeting, are we? Ow, my ass. Also, it's been a week and Homegirl still never received a tour, or even bothered to explore herself in between getting settled. If we last recall, for the third time, again, Cam asked if she was going to watch the show that same evening. She auditioned and got hired. She said yes, and he offered her the view from the grid. And you know what? Safety and regulations be damned, at least something would be happening. It would have been the perfect opportunity to give us, the readers, a taste of what makes this show such hot shit. What makes Spellman the best. And oh yeah, have our doofy dumbass zero in on her as secondary love interest in his actual element. That's crazy. What a novel idea. It would have been a more fitting teaser of the guy than just bumping into his ass randomly in the hallway and having Zayde McQueen immediately ready to pounce on that dick. Now, the actual dorky exchange between them isn't the worst, but the fangirling would have had more weight if she actually saw him perform. Hell, this whole conversation could have even happened after she saw the show and I guess she just snuck backstage or something. Just... what a waste. And near the end of the chapter, as she's about to go off with Jackson, she realizes she forgot her phone in the wardrobe and just goes back to get it, and that's it. Okay, this is totally a nitpick, but why does this even exist? It's just a bump in the flow. Is this going to amount to anything later? If not, I can only imagine the possible reasoning being like, oh, it's realistic. People forget their phones all the time. To which I say, no. This isn't real life. This is a book. It's supposed to be a constructed narrative where things mean things. It's not cool to throw a reader off their groove for no reason. In conclusion, such wasted opportunity, so sloppy. Wow. Time for another drink.